Oh my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? I am Matt O'Leary live from the Beach Gallery Watch Party here in New Jersey. My heart is still going a mile a minute, Jet fans. I'm sure you are in the same boat as me. We can breathe a big sigh of relief as the New York Jets get their first win of the season, 24-17. It didn't start out well. We're going to talk through it. So here's the plan so you guys know. I'm going to go through like I normally do in my post-game coverage. I'll go drive by drive. I'll get into some stats. We'll do your questions. I'll drop the link for call-ins, and we'll hang out and react here as the New York Jets win on the road in Tennessee, 24-17. Once again, shout out to the Beach Gallery for being the host of the draft party, of the Week 2 watch party. Hell of a time. It was an absolute blast. I have a ton of video and stuff that I'll be sharing out on my socials. So if you missed it, guess what? You can come to the next one. So this game starts out, no DJ Reed. That was a big storyline in this game. It seemed like maybe he was going to play. First possession for the Tennessee Titans. Will McDonald comes up with a big sack. That was a really nice play. On that possession. Jets get the ball. Jets pick up a first down on the ground. They are going ground game early. They get hit with an intentional grounding call on Aaron Rodgers, and then the Jets would punt it away. So not much offense early on. This next drive from Tennessee is when things started to turn for the worse. Tony Adams got hit with a holding. Calvin Ridley picked up a big gain. He had yards after the catch off Sauce Gardner, Sauce Gardner is awesome, but I didn't think this was his best game. Mosley was beating coverage. Mosley would leave with a foot injury, and he looked very slow in coverage, and specifically on this play, wasn't very good. And then Ridley gets an end around. He rushes it in for a touchdown to put the Titans up 7-0. Jets go 3-and-out on their next possession. Nathaniel Hackett, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Run, punt. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. This isn't when you're starting Tim Boyle or Zach Wilson or Trevor Siemian. Next possession, Jets get bailed out big time on the next couple of possessions. You would get a big run. They were going after it on the ground game. Horse collar tackle attacks on some more. Jermaine Johnson, more on him later, but he gets hit with a bogus roughing the passer call. CJ Mosley gets hurt. He wouldn't return. But Will Levis would do Will Levis things. That's what I said in this game preview. I said Will Levis will make mistakes. He fumbled the ball. He threw it backwards. I don't know what kind of decision that was, but I will take it as the Jets then create a turnover. Unfortunately, Jets didn't do anything with the ball there. They go 3-and-out. Next possession, first play for the Titans. Will Levis intercepted by who? Brandon Echols. I called it on the pregame show with Connor. If you were listening, I said the Jets would get 2 turnovers. They did. And I said Brandon Echols would get an interception. Nailed that one. Don't ask about any other predictions, but I did nail that one. So as I mentioned, the Jets get the ball. Lazard on third down gets a slant. He had a big play to Garrett Wilson, and then Braylon Allen receiving touchdown, his first of the year. Things you absolutely love to see. So the Jets tie this game 7-7. Chuck Clark gets hit with the penalty. Not good. Nick Folk hits a field goal to make it 10-7 right before the half. So 10-7 at halftime. Jets find themselves down, but they get the ball out of the half. And good news, Rodgers gets hit with the roughing the passer, which extends the drive. Breece Hall with a huge run on a pitch to the right. They were doing their pitch thing. They were back on their pitch BS. And then Breece Hall, 26-yard touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. How about that? 2 passing touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers today, both to the running backs. One to Braylon Allen, the other to Breece Hall. Jets defense begin to settle in a little bit in the second half of this game. They force a punt defensively. Jets get the ball back. They go 3-and-out. It's obviously not ideal. Then the Jets force another punt. This time, Irv Charles comes up with a huge block. He had himself a monster game. Let me tell you, Irv Charles did. Was really impressed by his performance today on special teams. Jets would get a field goal off of that. So they're up 17-10 at this point. This is when the game starts to turn, and this is when my stomach started to bother me as Jermaine Johnson would go down and get carted off. They're calling an Achilles injury. I just got a Twitter notification while I was live here. I'll read what it says there, but I believe it's an Achilles injury. Zach Rosenblatt tweeted it out. Robert Saleh said it looks like Jermaine Johnson tore his Achilles, which would end his season. Just Horrible, horrible, horrible. I feel so bad for Jermaine Johnson. Really good player. Was a Pro Bowler a year ago. Had a nice year two leap, and not even two full games in, he goes down with an injury. So thoughts with him. Glad the Jets were able to get through the rest of the game. At that point, let's see. Okay, so Jermaine Johnson goes down. Ridley comes up with a big catch and touchdown. So I don't know. This was very bizarre what happened here, as Chuck Clark tried to go for the interception, just completely whiffed on it, and Ridley catches it and rolled into the end zone. So they tied the game up at 17-7. Jets offense, they come out. They're run heavy again. Missed Allen Lazard deep on 3rd and 2. Some think Allen Lazard could have caught that ball. Others are saying that the Jets and Aaron Rodgers should have had a better throw on that one. That I feel like it was a catchable pass. I feel like Lazard could have made it, but going long on 3rd and 2 to Allen Lazard is not ideal. Jets defense forces a 3-and-out. Then, good news, the Jets get the ball back, and this is when they start to go on a drive. Garrett Wilson with a really nice catch on 3rd down. Rodgers just kind of tosses it up. Garrett Wilson finds it, makes an adjustment, catches the ball. A really frustrating waste of a timeout to avoid a delay of game. I can't stand how late Nathaniel Hackett gets these play calls, and it's really unbelievable just how much time it takes for the Jets to set this up. That's something they need to get in gear going forward. But then you get Big Mike on the fade route, and then Braylon Allen, man, the game of Braylon Allen, 2-touchdown performance from our guy today. Raise your hand if you drafted Braylon Allen with the last pick in your fantasy draft, but then had an injury and dropped him after week 1. This idiot. So I guess I'll try to pick him back up, but chances are I'm probably not very high. Last possession, Titans start driving the ball. They get down into Jets territory. Will McDonald, got to mention Will McDonald. He came up with his 3rd sack of the day. He was MIA in week 1. The whole Jets defensive line, I thought, really struggled in week 1. He stepped up in a huge spot. I know a lot of Jet fans have been really hard on Will McDonald. I've been hard on Will McDonald at times, but you absolutely have to give this guy credit for the game that he had today. With the absence of Hassan Reddick, and after Jermaine Johnson comes down in a huge moment when the Jets needed a sack, guess who comes up with it? It's Will McDonald, who, again, had 3 today. What did he have? 3.5 sacks on the year last year at a much limited sample size. Obviously, he played 19% of the snaps on the year. So really impressive stuff there. 24-17. Again, drop your questions in. I'm just going to give you some stats before we get into the chat, some questions. I'll drop the link to do some call-ins as well. Aaron Rodgers goes 18-30, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 98.7 rating. I thought he was okay. Not stellar Aaron Rodgers, not a horrible performance. There were some flashes that made me feel like, okay, this is like the Aaron Rodgers that we were hoping to get. And that's the reason why you make the trade. And then there were some other times where he just didn't look 100% fully comfortable. Breece Hall, 14 carries, 62 yards, 4.4 yards per attempt. Braylon Allen, 7 carries, 33 yards and a touchdown. Jets ran the ball 24 times and had 101 rushing yards and a touchdown, 4.2 yards per attempt. Garrett Wilson led the day receiving, 4 for 57. Breece Hall, 7 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Braylon Allen, 2 catches, 23 yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Conklin had just 1 catch for 10 yards. But overall, I would say it was an impressive day from the New York Jets offense. Just waving as Nick Shine heads on out of here. Jets YouTube legend Nick Shine came to hang out with us. His Little League football team dropped a 39-0 mercy rule, and then he got his ass to the Beach Gallery to watch the New York Jets win. So I'm really excited about this win. Did they make me sweat? Yes. Am I satisfied? Not satisfied yet. Obviously, the Jets still need to clean things up, but would you rather the Jets win ugly than not win at all? The answer is obviously going to be yes. That is going to be the case every single time. So again, not the prettiest of showing. My heart rate is finally beginning to slow down after they made you sweat literally the whole game. 24-17. I believe in my preview show, I had a 27-17 game. It was a little tighter than I would have liked it to be. But the Jets hold on and get a win. So I'll drop the call-in link in the chat. You guys can send in any super chats that you'd like. Any questions that you'd like, send it in. I'll get to all that. We'll hang out with you guys here for a little bit as we're live again from the Beach Gallery Watch Party. Brian Bogan sends in the first super chat of the day. Shout out to Brian Bogan. Says they wouldn't be the Jets if they didn't make me sweat, but definitely improvement over last week, and only took Hackett 2 weeks to know what number 0 can do. And I'm not the only one. Believe me, I'm not taking credit for this. But last week, I was very critical of the New York Jets not putting in Braylon Allen until the final freaking drive of the game. And now he goes out, has the game of his life in week 2, a receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown. He was absolutely everything you would want. He spelled Breece Hall really well. Breece started out slow, had a couple of nice big runs. That was impressive to me. So shout out Brian Bogan. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I'm going to drop the call-in link in the chat. So I'll drop that one, and you guys can call in. I'm going to pin it. I think I can do it from this end. Maybe not. I got to open YouTube up. I'm only working on my laptop. This is an away game for me. So I dropped the call-in the chat. If you guys want to hop in, you guys are more than welcome to. Joey wants to know, he's in here talking up in the chat, do they finally sign Reddick now? I'm not going to lie, that was a very big topic of conversation at the watch party as Jermaine Johnson tears his Achilles. We find out I'm happy that Will McDonald played well in this game, had the 3 sacks, but they're going to need some edge rush help now because I don't think you can get by with the group that you have without Jermaine Johnson, without Hassan Reddick. We got to go live to our first call of the day. Let's do it. V-Man was in first. We'll bring him up. V-Man, what is going on, my friend?
What is up? It was a rough game. If it was going to go any rougher, I would have had to break out into my rum stash, but mainly I kept it to the beer.
Okay, good. Love to see that.
No, honestly, it's really bummed with JJ to see that. That's not what you want to see happen. And now it's going to put you in. Now this it reminds me of what Jake was talking about a while back. Is that the only way that you're going to probably see with Reddick's situation is if you lose a key edge rusher that forced their hand. And now you're looking at it. You lose a key edge rusher. Was this suddenly going to force the Jets to pivot and have to give in a little? Does this force them to give in a little?
Yeah, I feel like yes at this point. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but like I think without Jermaine Johnson, that edge room does not look nearly deep enough. So I would think it plays in Hassan Reddick's favor. But what's your thought?
I probably agree. I think at this point, is that you got to think of as much as it sucks for what the message is sent to the locker room, you got to think of the greater good of the season, and you got to say. And you got to just bite the bullet, I think, at this point. And just pay him what he wants, And because you're right about it. Just, without JJ, you got a thinner edge rushing room. But, the thing is that hopefully it looks like I'm hoping with CJ, it's just a minor a toe injury, nothing too big that will keep him limited.
Yeah, I was surprised. So he was listed as doubtful to come back, and we didn't see him come back. But he stayed in pads the whole time and was back on the sideline. So I feel like that's positive news, at least. If it was really bad, I think they would have just kept him in the dressing room.
No, I agree completely. That they would have probably kept him in the dressing. He would have not come back out. They didn't think that he was all right. It wasn't a serious thing. So hopefully that's good. And the good news is the Patriots lost. So.
I was going to say the Jets are playing your favorite team up next, the Patriots. So I know we're reacting to Tennessee, but give me your early thoughts on that matchup coming up on Thursday night. Quick turnaround.
This is good. Well, we should have the advantage. They're coming our turf on Thursday night. The Jets coming off a win, so that MetLife crowd should be energetic. The question is, I don't know if you're going to be able to get Reddick signed and ready to go. Yeah. For Thursday, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that right now.
Yeah, I don't think you can get him in the building for Thursday. Too quick of a turnaround, but maybe if you sign him this week, he'd be good to go by that Denver game the following week.
Yeah, no, I agree on that one, but I think you're going to have to make do with what you have and hope nothing else, hope no other injury bugs get you going forward.
I'm with you. V-Man, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
One thing I want to say is that I thought this would be a hilarious idea. If we ever meet up, we got to do, instead of doing like a jersey swap, because
Okay.
you're Irish, I'm Puerto Rican, so I thought you bring one of your big fluffy Irish sweaters, and I'll bring my Guayabera, and we'll do a swap like that.
That is your best idea yet. You've had a lot of good ideas, but I think that's my favorite. We'll do that. We'll bring a flag. I'll have an Irish flag behind me, and you'll get a Puerto Rican flag behind you. It'll be good to go. How's that sound?
Sounds like a great idea.
All right, V-Man, thanks so much. The legend V-Man. We'll go to a super chat and then right back to the calls. Dakota Cops checks in, says, I'm happy with how we're using our running backs, but what do you think of the target share? So we'll go through and take a look. I would say not thrilled with it yet in terms of the passing attack. Rushing, I'm pretty good with it. Again, 24 times. Breece Hall had 14. Braylon Allen had 7. Garrett Wilson had a rush. And Aaron Rodgers ran 2 times. But from the passing attack, so I'm good. Not to gloss over that, Dakota, but I'm good with how they've split up the rushing attack this week. I think that's a lot closer to where it should be. Garrett and Breece were the leaders. I said it last week. I'll mention it again. Tyler Conklin's got to get more involved. This is the second week in a row they haven't really thrown a ton. So I think as they get more comfortable, as they get more reps, we'll see that. I want to look at the time of possession game as well here, if they have it on ESPN. It was almost an even split. Jets had the ball 30 minutes and 3 seconds. The Titans had it 29:57. That's about as close as you're going to get in the NFL. So we'll see next week against New England. Big divisional test. Back to the calls. Let's go to Jay Slimy up next. What's going on, man? How are you?
Yo, I'm good. How are you, Matt?
Doing good. What'd you think of this game against Tennessee here?
I've seen some better ones, but I'm happy. You know, I'm from Montreal. My dad actually traveled out to the game, so I'm glad they won while he was there. I'm glad they won while he was there. I'm happy for him. But you know, I'm glad how they used Braylon Allen a little bit more, even though it probably wasn't like even if they wanted to, it looked like Breece was a little bit dinged up. But throwing him in the game, you know, that looked really good. 2 touchdowns, he looked great, honestly. Kind of looked like the old Titan Derrick Henry, kind of. Not saying he's going to be like Derrick, but, you know, looks similar. The defense played a lot better today. 2 turnovers. One was stupid. One was a crazy catch by Eccles. Love the depth on this team. I'm just excited about this team. Aaron looked all right today, you know. Didn't turn the ball over. It's a good win today. We're happy today.
Yeah, we'll take it. It wasn't pretty, right? But a win is a win. I agree with you. I thought they were better defensively. I was getting a little bit nervous, though, in the first half. It felt like they were letting them drive down the field, and they got bailed out a couple times by the Levis turnovers.
I agree, but I feel like this was a big win. If we went 0-2, man, you know this fan base, we would have been stressing out. So it's good to get this, you know, just get the win. A win we should have got. Get it out the way. It's a short week. Hopefully, just remembered about Jermaine. Prayers up to Jermaine. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, it looks like, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a torn Achilles. So his season's probably over for Jermaine Johnson, which is just so frustrating. I feel awful for the guy.
Honestly, man, it's like we can't every year something with this damn team. I love them, but I hate them at the same time for times like this. It's like, why? It's like we're cursed. But hey, you know what? We still got some dogs on this team.
I agree with you, man. Got to get back in. Hey, you got one. Now you got a divisional game against New England. Come
Big
home
game.
for the home opener. Huge. You know, the crowd's going to be into it. Got to go out and win that one next.
Yes, sir.
I'm with it. Jay Slimy, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate
Have
you.
a good one, Matt.
Love it. Let's go next to the legend himself, Doug, who is in his room. Dougie, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm going to say something like maybe a tad bit controversial, but like
okay.
So I love CJ Mosley, don't get me wrong. Great guy. But the defense was so much faster when it was Sherwood running it, and it looked a lot silker and smoother when he was running it. Not to say I don't want CJ Mosley to play. I'm just saying it seemed more athletic and faster with Sherwood and Quincy kind of rotating through that middle linebacker spot. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree with that. CJ Mosley, I think his biggest asset at this point in his career is just like what he brings with his football IQ. I thought early on in the game, there was one play in particular where he just looked so slow in coverage. So I don't think he can keep up with the tight end or running back anymore. So I don't disagree with you there. I do think they looked a lot faster when Sherwood came in.
And now if I were to play like the Mount Rushmore of players today, it'd be Braylon Allen, Irv Charles, Jermaine. Not Jermaine. Sorry. I can't remember his.
Braylon, Will McDonald.
Yeah, and there's one more I can't remember. I'd probably put like I don't know, but no, the three best were Irv Charles, Will McDonald, and Braylon Allen. I thought those were the three players today because Irv was even before the block punt, he was a monster on special teams today, and I just thought very well balanced. Everything worked well. Those three guys were the best players today.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. I don't think I'd change any of that. The Irv Charles on the punts on special teams, one with the block, that was the big play. But even before that, he made a couple of really big tackles that, obviously stopped some what could have been bigger returns. So he needs some credit too.
And then it didn't come back to bite us, but the officiating was horseshit again.
Yeah, the Jermaine Johnson roughing the passer I thought was brutal.
And then there's a good chance that he would have scored anyway after Ridley had the catch. It seemed like Sauce's ankle touched him and downed him.
It was close. That one probably could have. I don't blame them for not throwing the challenge flag though, because they only had one timeout at that point.
But like what Gene was also saying, it looks like his ankle touched him. Like the CBS guy was saying, like it definitely looked like he touched him. Again, they probably would have scored, but you never know. And it's a moot point anyway because we won. But just if we had lost, like we go back.
Of course.
It's like, I don't know how you could call that. Like so. Little things. You can never be upset about a win. If I was the Jets, I would not play Mosley on Thursday night. Just give him give him the full week. DJ Reed, I'd also maybe not play on Thursday night because our secondary is gonna be fine no matter what. And then again, I thought after the first quarter, our defense played very well after the first quarter.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought they were solid after that initial. Again, it was really that. I guess it was two drives, one the scoring drive, and then right after that, right before the turnover, they went right down the field.
And then the Jets have scored 3 touchdowns in back-to-back weeks. We only did that twice all year last year.
Yeah, the Buffalo Jet tweeted that out today. He's like, the Jets scored 3 touchdowns. And I thought about it for a second. Like, wait, they did that last week too. I know one of them was in garbage time, but it still counts.
Yeah. Still, though, so we keep on building. Patriots, I think they don't match up well against us. I think we should win that game. I'm not going to say easily because we never win anything easily, but I think we are going to win Thursday night, be 2-1, get that little bit extra time off that we need, get guys rested. And like I said, I think now it's like Hassan Reddick got the little bit of leverage he needed. And I imagine like it's going to be too quick of a turnaround for play Thursday, but I'd be shocked if he wasn't in the lineup for the Denver game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Denver seems more realistic than, again, it's a short week. The Thursday will be here before we know it. So I'd be surprised.
Last one. Oh boy, Will Levis, man.
Dude,
I
was going to say, I said before this week that he could throw a game away, but I didn't think he would be like that. The fumble was atrocious.
Like I know Zach Wilson was bad, but like I don't think I ever made him do like the fumble play like Will Levis did. Like with Zach, it was just like bad picks.
Yeah, I don't. Again, the Jets got bailed out by some Will Levis play. I'll take it. Believe me, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining over it, but they really he might have saved their season a little bit in that first half because if they go down and score and go 14-0, man.
All right.
I appreciate you, Doug. Thanks for checking in, man.
Yep.
Good stuff as always. We got time for a few more, so if you want to call in, I'll be on for another probably 10-15 minutes or so. But we'll check in with the chat for now as we continue to go through here and react to a New York Jets win, their first win of the season. Harlan is hanging out with us. He says that win is Jets' first win with Rodgers at the helm. True. Technically, we're not going to give the week 1 a year ago to Aaron Rodgers. He only played 4 snaps, didn't complete a pass. He did start, so does he get hit with that win for week 1 a year ago? Maybe, but this time he played start to finish, and I thought it was okay today. Was it a stellar Aaron Rodgers performance? Am I going home and going nuts over it? No, I don't think so, but he played well enough to win the game, and really that's all that matters here at the end of the day. We can go back to the calls. Our guy Johnny Boy is hanging out behind the scenes. Johnny, what's going on, man?
Matt, brother, what's going on, dude? How you holding up, man?
I am hanging in there. It was a rough 3 hours. I was stressed the entire time.
Yeah, I was screaming in the beginning, like, why are we starting with this pass, run stuff? Crazy game, man. The injuries, man. I believe Hassan Reddick is a Jet as of 7 o'clock tonight, and New England next week is not going to be an easy game.
No.
That defense is playing really, really well. We've been saying it for a while that the defense is still good. They're going to be a pesky team, right? But we need to bring the W. We need to continue to keep winning, build off of this. Braylon Allen, Brees Hall, keep using them. Use the tight ends. I still don't understand why we're not using our tight ends.
Yep.
I mean, you saw it there. Ruckert would have probably had a touchdown if he would have just kept running and not stopped. But overall, I'll take the game off of a team that they got a pretty good defense. And continue, guys. This is awesome. Matt, I appreciate you, man. Dude, keep killing and stuff. This will be a little bit of an easier week for us Jet fans to talk some positive stuff. And I look forward to, all the podcasts you put out there, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, Johnny. Have a good rest of the day. Love it. Good stuff from our guy, Johnny, in there. Let's see. What else do we got in here? We got tough win, but we weathered the storm. That's kind of how I look at it. It wasn't pretty. I think anyone who would tell you that, this was a valiant effort from the team and they looked amazing. No, I'm not quite there. There's a lot of sloppiness in this game. The defense in the first half, I thought, really struggled. Offensively, the play calling wasn't good enough. And just some little things like having to take timeouts because you're not getting the play call in. That's the frustrating stuff. That's the stuff that doesn't make fans feel good about Robert Saleh's, as the head coach. I get it. His in-game management has to get better if they are going to be a team that is to be reckoned with come playoff time. But they needed a win. They couldn't drop to 0-2. New England is going to be tougher than I think some people think. Jacoby Brissett's played well against this defense each of the last 2 years. He did it with Washington when he came in relief of Sam Howell a year ago. The year prior in Cleveland, he put up a monster performance. Now, granted, that wasn't that same Jets defense per se. They didn't really hit their stride that year until, week 4, I believe. It was the game after Cincinnati when Quinnen Williams was yelling on the sideline. I'm pretty sure it was week 4 against Pittsburgh when they started to really hit their stride that year. But still, point being, Jacoby Brissett is doing his job, keeping the team in games here, even with a lack of talent offensively. Defense is playing well. Again, they're not going to be an easy game coming up on Thursday. And short week again for both these teams. Let's see. We got time for a couple more. Jay Spector's down on our tight ends. Our tight ends are awful. Conklin missed a huge block, which would have sent Brees down the sideline. I think we're nitpicking here a little bit. I thought Tyler Conklin and Jeremy Ruckert were good in the run blocking. They didn't throw the ball to Tyler Conklin really at all. One catch today on one target. And Jeremy Ruckert, they had that one pass in the end zone, which he probably should have kept running on, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. But not sure that would have been a touchdown even if they did do that. John chimes in as well. First quarter was bad, but then the Jets made great plays and forced turnovers. The turnovers were the key to the game. They needed to create turnovers. Luckily, the Jets did not turn the ball over. No fumbles, no interceptions. The Jets had a blocked punt, so special teams play, and 2 turnovers. Will Levis interception, Will Levis fumble. That's what this Jets defense needs to do. Can McDonald step up in Johnson's role if we cave to Reddick? Well, McDonald still doesn't look great against the run. I don't think he ever will be great against the run. He had a very good pass rush day. I think in a perfect world, the Jets want Will McDonald to develop into the player that Hassan Reddick was and is during his prime of his career. That's going to be a really big factor in it, but they're kind of redundant. Jermaine Johnson is an all-around edge. He's good against the run. He's more of a power rusher because he's a little bigger. He's not, the bendy, twitchy guy around the edge. So they're not really a one-for-one swap, although would imagine his playing time is going to have to go up, and Takk McKinley too. Hackett's play calls are elementary: 2 runs and then a pass on 3rd and 8. I'm not here to hype up the play calling from Nathaniel Hackett. It isn't good. He wasn't good. I'm curious to see how the offense develops as the year goes on. I wouldn't say the Jets' offense through 2 weeks has been good. I'm not going as far to say they've been good. There have been signs of potential with the offense, but then there's things that scare me and look like from a year ago where it doesn't look like an offense that's going to be in the top 10. It looks like an offense that is going to be towards the bottom of the league, and play calling has a lot to do with it, unfortunately. All right, we got time for a few more in here. Again, we're hanging out at the Beach Gallery live here in New Jersey at the watch party. Brian says that Sherwood is a win for JD. I think the development of Jermaine Sherwood's been a good one. And I know we don't like giving Robert Saleh any credit, but I think Saleh and Ulbrich deserve a lot of credit for some of the defensive guys that they've developed as well. And one of those guys is Jermaine Sherwood, who was a day 3 pick. It took him a few years, but it looks like he can play. Looks like he can play. Let's go to Bradley, who's called in. What's going on, Bradley?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. What'd you think of this game over the Titans?
I mean, they won. I can watch the 4:00 window, happy. But I mean, what happened to JJ sucks. I want to see how they figure that out. How they're going to fix the rotation with that. That's a big hole. That's probably the biggest hole besides Quinnen that you could have on the line. I thought a lot of what frustrated me was the play clock. A lot of that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the issue is there's a lot of time. You kind of see it a little bit. Brees kind of doesn't know where to be set sometimes. There might be a receiver, something doesn't know what he should be doing, where he should be if he's on or off the line. Just those little things, they add up whenever you got a guy like Rodgers who likes to snap the ball with half a second on the clock. So that extra half a second to get Brees put on the right side instead of the left side, I mean, I think that'll get cleared up throughout the year.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think the more they play together, like it's going to take a few weeks for them to hit their stride. And that happens now, especially the Jets didn't play in the preseason, but with the preseason only being 3 games, it feels like it takes a lot of these offenses a few weeks before they really hit their stride.
Yeah, and with the new, I don't know. I don't count Hackett last year as the same play caller because he didn't do anything. He didn't trust his quarterback. So now it's essentially you have a new play caller, new quarterback, new weapons everywhere. You have to cover from the ground up. You're building that offense. Now you get your issues. You get to solve them. Like they can focus on that this week. They can spend a couple hours focused on that, fixing that one issue. So I think they'll clean it up pretty quick. Play calling does scare me a little bit, but I think they'll clean up a lot of these issues. Maybe by the Monday night game, that's kind of my spot where I'd like to see the offense not consistent throughout the whole game, but have more than 2 or 3 good drives.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hopefully sooner than that Monday night game because that's week 6. So I'm hoping a little bit earlier. It's a quick turnaround. Like this week's going to be tough because you got to play on Thursday. So I don't know how different things will look. I think it's going to be pretty similar to what we've been seeing, but again, from a talent perspective, the Jets are the more talented team, so there's no reason that they shouldn't win this game, especially at home too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to see a home game. I think the crowd should be into the game. I live in Florida, so I can't go. I flew for week 1 last year to New York for that game. So, okay. I mean, it's never forget that game.
No.
There's a lot that happened. Never forget it. But I think I'm just going to stay home this time. They play the Jags. I'll go to that one. But I went to that one. Year before that, I went to the Jags Thursday night game.
Brutal.
I think I'm calling it. I'm not going to any more games.
Yeah,
it's a playoff game. I consider it. But, yeah, no, we're done. We're done.
I think you made the right choice there. Bradley, I appreciate you calling in and sharing some insight.
All right. You have a good rest of your day.
All right, you too, man. All right, guys, I think that's going to about wrap it up here on our post-game coverage. Again, live from the Beach Gallery. We had an awesome watch party. Definitely going to want to do something like this again. So if you are in the area, make sure to come out. But I am Matt O'Leary signing off. Till next time, JETS, 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 Jets.